Ever felt like there's more to the world than meets the eye? A hidden layer of reality, filled with ancient powers and forgotten knowledge? Today, we're peeling back that veil and venturing into the enigmatic world of the Lesser Key of Solomon, a 17th century grimoire that claims to be a guide to summoning and commanding spirits. Our focus? The fifth spirit listed, a figure of immense power and complexity, Marbas. Now, before we dive in, let's get one thing straight. We're exploring these texts from a historical, mythological, and cultural perspective. This isn't a how-to guide. Think of it as a deep dive into one of the most fascinating pieces of occult literature ever written. The Lesser Key of Solomon, or the Ars Goetia, as its first section is known, details 72 demons that King Solomon supposedly controlled. These aren't your typical pitchfork-wielding fiends from pop culture. They're described as presidents, dukes, and kings, each with their own unique skills, domains, and appearances. And Marbas is one of the most intriguing. He holds the rank of president, a high-ranking official in this infernal hierarchy, and is said to command 36 legions of spirits. That's a massive force, hinting at his significant influence and power. But what does he do? Well, this is where it gets really interesting. Marbas isn't about destruction or causing chaos for the sake of it. His domain is knowledge, truth, and transformation. According to the Grimoire, Marbas appears first as a great lion, a symbol of strength, courage, and royalty, a majestic and fearsome sight. However, at the request of the conjurer, he can change his shape, taking on the form of a man. This duality is a recurring theme with these entities, a beastly, primal form, and a more relatable human one. It suggests a power that is both raw and untamed, yet also intelligent and communicable. So, what kind of knowledge can you get from a great president of hell? The Lesser Key of Solomon says that Marbas answereth truly of things hidden or secret. Imagine that. The ultimate secret keeper. He can reveal truths that are buried, whether they're lost treasures, forgotten histories, or the hidden motives of others. This makes him a spirit of revelation, peeling back the layers of deception to show the core of what is real. It's a power that's both tempting and dangerous. After all, some secrets are hidden for a reason, but his abilities don't stop there. Marbas is also a master of mechanics and the arts. He can teach you how things work, from the most intricate machinery to the fundamental principles of craftsmanship. In a pre-industrial age, this knowledge would have been priceless. He's like a supernatural engineer and a patron of artisans all rolled into one. This aspect shows a constructive side to his nature, a side that's focused on building and understanding, not just revealing. And then we get to his more medical and transformative powers. The text states that Marbas can cause diseases, but also cure them. This is a classic duality we see in many ancient deities and spirits. The power over life and death, sickness and health. He who can inflict an ailment is also the one who understands it best and knows its cure. It's a stark reminder of the fine line between creation and destruction. The knowledge of how to break something is intimately tied to the knowledge of how to fix it. Furthermore, Marbas can change the shapes of men, shapeshifting. This is a power that has fascinated humanity for millennia. The ability to transform someone, to alter their very form, is a profound and almost godlike power. Does it mean a literal physical transformation, like turning a person into an animal? Or is it more metaphorical, representing a change in character, status, or perception? The text is famously cryptic, leaving it open to interpretation. Perhaps it means he can change how others see you, or help you fundamentally change who you are. When you piece all this together, Marbas emerges not as a simple monster, but as a complex and multifaceted being. He's a keeper of secrets, a master of mechanics, a purveyor of disease and its cure, and a catalyst for transformation. The lion form symbolizes his raw power and authority, while his human form represents his intelligence and willingness to communicate. He embodies the concept of knowledge as a double-edged sword. It can build and create, but it can also expose and harm. Let's think about the context. The 17th century was a time of immense change. The scientific revolution was taking hold, but beliefs in magic, alchemy, and spirits were still very much alive. In a world grappling with plagues, political intrigue, and new technologies, a spirit like Marbas would have been incredibly relevant. He offered answers to the unknown, cures for the incurable, and mastery over the mechanical world that was just beginning to emerge. The act of summoning itself, as described in the Grimoire, is a highly ritualized process. It involves creating a protective circle, using specific seals and incantations, and showing the proper respect and authority. The conjurer wasn't just begging for help. They were commanding the spirit, using the authority of God's name, according to the text. It was a dangerous transaction, a negotiation with immense power. You had to know what you were doing, or you could face dire consequences. The seal of Marbas, like those of the other demons, is a unique and intricate diagram. These seals were considered the spirit's signature, or phone number, a crucial component for making contact. They were drawn on parchment or engraved on metal and used within the ritual. The design itself, a complex web of lines and circles, is a piece of art reflecting the mystical and geometric beliefs of the time. It was believed to hold a resonance with the spirit it represented. So why does Marbas and the rest of the Goetia continue to fascinate us today? I think it's because they tap into a fundamental human desire for knowledge, power, and control over our own lives. Marbas represents the pursuit of hidden truths, the mastery of skills, and the ability to change our circumstances. He's the ultimate consultant, the one you go to when you need an expert opinion on, well, just about anything. Of course, the price of this knowledge is never explicitly stated, but it's heavily implied. Dealing with such powerful entities is not a game. The Grimoire is a warning as much as it is an instruction manual. The path to knowledge is often fraught with peril, and some truths can be more of a burden than a blessing. The power to cause and cure disease is a heavy responsibility. The ability to change forms raises questions about identity and what it truly means to be human. In modern times, Marbas has been reinterpreted in countless ways in fiction, from video games to books and movies. Sometimes he's a villain, a classic demon. Other times, he's a more neutral or even helpful character, a wise old spirit who tests the protagonist. This adaptability shows the power of the original myth. The description in the Lesser Key of Solomon is just specific enough to be evocative, but just vague enough to allow for endless creative interpretation. He's a figure that bridges the gap between the old world of magic and the new world of science. A demon of mechanics in an age of faith, a healer and a harmbringer, a revealer of secrets that might be better left hidden. Marbas is a perfect example of why the Ars Goetia is more than just a dusty old book of demonology. It's a window into the fears, ambitions, and complex worldview of a bygone era. It's a collection of powerful archetypes that still resonate with us today, forcing us to ask ourselves, what secrets would you want to know? And what would you be willing to do to find them out? The story of Marbas is a reminder that the world is full of mysteries, and that the pursuit of knowledge is one of humanity's oldest and most powerful drives. Whether you see him as a literal entity, a psychological archetype, or simply a fascinating piece of folklore, there's no denying the enduring power of his legend. Thanks for joining me on this journey into the shadows of history. What do you think about Marbas? Is he a force for good, evil, or something else entirely? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this deep dive, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more explorations into the world's most mysterious myths and legends. See you in the next one.